Governor, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Lester. It's good to be with you.
I don't know if you just heard that forecast, but right now it looks like this tropical storm is going to be tracking far to the west, but will be kicking up waves. Do you feel like maybe you've dodged a bullet at this point?
Well, I think it's too early to tell, to be honest with you. As I said, it's maybe 5 days out still, so we have to be prepared for it in the event that it takes a northerly turn. We certainly hope that it does not that we would wish it on anybody, but this is the last thing we would need in the Gulf of Mexico with all the oil out there.
We've seen some pretty ugly pictures of the beaches of Pensacola with these tar balls and this oil washing up. How would you describe the situation right now along the Florida Panhandle beaches?
Well, I was just out on the beach this morning. As you can see behind me, it's pretty clean. An awful lot of people are working very hard to keep it clean, Lester, and we appreciate that. We're ordering additional equipment to maintain that cleanliness and encourage people to come on down here. A couple of days ago, it wasn't very pretty out there. Today, it's a lot better.
You know, I think people by now recognize it's very, very hard to ultimately cap this oil leak, but they can't accept the fact that this oil reaches the beaches. How do you assess the situation in terms of the equipment available to keep this oil back? Skimmer boats.
Well, it's very clear to me we need more skimmer boats. I'm going to be out on one today, and I look forward to watching that process. I was out on one last weekend, in fact, in St. Joe's Bay, but I think it's important that we get as much skimming equipment as we can, as much assets on the issue, if you will, to try and keep it off the coast before it gets here. But if in the eventuality it does, we want to make sure that we have the heavy equipment on the beach so we can scrape it off as quickly as possible and let people enjoy the beautiful beaches of Florida. I think it's important to tell you that most of the beaches in the Sunshine State are unimpacted by this. People should come down and visit the beautiful state of Florida.
And I know you have made that point. We have seen commercials making that point, but yet the perception persists that the oil has become a big problem there. How much is it already affecting the tourism industry?
It's having a big impact. It really is. And that's why we're trying to get the word out that most of the beaches are untouched. In most places in Florida, the fishing is great. We want to have people come down here. The water is clean. And when we have a problem, as was impacted here in Pensacola the other day, we clean it up as quickly as we can so we can get back to normal. The real issue, though, is we need to plug that hole. And if this isn't a wake-up call for our country that we need to get off that fossil fuel, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and on that point, as you know, a federal judge struck down the administration's 6-month moratorium on offshore drilling. You sided with the administration on this. How do you feel about this court decision?
I can't believe it, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm astounded by the fact that a judge would make this decision. Of course, we all have to respect the court, but I'm very pleased the administration is appealing. It seems to me that why would you lift a moratorium? I mean, we've just gone through the worst environmental catastrophe in the history of our country, and it came from deep water drilling, and they want to allow for more of it? You got to be kidding me. I mean, that just strikes me as absolutely ludicrous.
We'll have to end the conversation there, but Governor Charlie Crist, our thanks to you for spending time with us this morning. It was good to see you.
Great to see you, Lester. Thank you.
Okay.